Welcome to AsReported.com. I'm Bob Santusky. In this screencast, I'd like to demonstrate the basic processing capabilities of AsReported's DataMill application. Our vision is to create a single automated solution for the production and delivery of XBRL fundamental data, earnings release financials, corporate guidance, and ownership data. The data source is currently documents filed with the SEC, so the universe of companies is roughly 10,000. But the application is designed to accommodate international document sources as well. SEC documents are automatically updated to DataMill, so turnaround times from availability to published dataset is normally 10 to 20 minutes. Our initial objective has been to stand up an XBRL relational database on Microsoft's Azure cloud platform. This has been accomplished, and we're in the process of testing and populating the data store with 5 years of financial data. Even though XBRL is a digital format for the delivery of financial data mandated by the SEC, the 6 files that comprise a single filing require deconstruction and reformulation into a format that allows for efficient storage and rapid access across companies over time. AsReported has developed a proprietary process to accomplish this that involves parsing the XML data, extracting tables, facts, and contexts over multiple entity and temporal dimensions, metadata, and labels. The design objective was to distill relevant information from the complex XBRL file structures and efficiently store that information in an accessible cloud format while minimizing redundancies in the data. With that as background, let's just jump into a quick example. So on to the production floor, where we're going to select 2 10 queues for processing, steel case and finish line. We first add the 2 companies to a company group called Test Group 1 so we can look later at a standardized comparison. Having done that, we begin the process. Files are first downloaded and parsed, converted to an object model, then one by one tables are produced using existing global and company metadata. Concepts, as reported labels, and company components such as product and geographic segments and debt components are maintained at the company level. Therefore, each subsequent document processed for a company will require less incremental data storage. This is the computer learning about each company over time so that eventually only line items and facts get stored. Extensions are accounting concepts reported by companies outside of the standardized XBRL taxonomy. DataMill integrates those concepts into the data table structure of the taxonomy and identifies their arithmetic relationship in the as-reported and standardized models. This is important because XBRL is not a truly standardized reporting system, but it can be if the relationships of the company extensions are implicit in the stored data and subsequently rolled up or mapped to standardized concepts. There are companies that report dozens of extensions, but most of these are either immaterial or aren't relevant to the company's income statement or balance sheet. Nevertheless, they present a challenge to true standardization. So these documents have been processed and the data sets uploaded to Azure storage. As you can see, the number of data points stored is large, but the number of company labels in particular will decline sharply for subsequent filings. Taking a brief look at what we've just produced, here are the data tables or statements reported by Steelcase, the segment names, concept extensions, and as reported labels. In the table viewer, we can review the statements and look more closely at individual reported concept properties. Note that the items in red are company extensions, as indicated by their positive company ID. In the document viewer, the source document can be examined along with the raw XML data from the XBRL files. Now let's go to the data lab, which you'll see is still under development. Standardization, or near standardization, is clearly a goal of XBRL, and it allows us to compare companies' financial results in a common language. So here we have our two companies, and the income statements for each for Q3 2014 can be easily compared side by side. Tapping into DataMill's XBRL data store for basic results or complex analysis is only a matter of defining and executing relevant queries. Before we wrap up, I'll show you the metadata manager, which includes dictionaries for units, scale, and currency, rules for normalizing labels, keywords used for disqualifying certain tables or dimensions, and the raw labels used for line items. In addition, XBRL taxonomies can be viewed. Note again that items in red are company extensions, which actually become part of the underlying taxonomy. So that's a brief look at XBRL fundamentals processing. It's still under development, as are the modules for earnings press releases, corporate guidance, and ownership data. But the DataMill framework is in place and fully capable of supporting the full automation of multiple data sets. This is currently a client-server application, but already we've begun development of a web application version residing alongside the data store on the cloud. Thank you for your interest.